Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs may have some thoughts about that. He sits on the House Judiciary and Oversight and Government Reform Committees. Obviously, it's not your party, Congressman, but why do you think that the Democrats are ranking so low these days?
Well, John, it looks to me like they're a little bit rudderless. They were beat at the polling places in Election Day for their policies and their personnel. And so when you lose your policy and they have not been able to regroup on the personnel side, so they don't have a leader. They don't have a leader. They don't have the policy, so they've got a vacuum. And that means you get some of the more radical folks in the Democrat Party, people like a Jasmine Crockett, for instance, or an AOC, that are trying to claim the new leadership spot. And there's really not much left from the old, what we would call more moderate Democrat Party that works with people, left to stand up against that vacuum.
And so the result is you get people like Zohran Mamdani, the likely Democrat nominee for mayor of New York City?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you get the most fanatical, hard left people that are now kind of running the party because I don't think without a leader, they can't set the party. On the Republican side, you got Donald Trump's clearly the leader. He's setting policy, but they don't have anybody that's doing that. So you get Mamdani in New York. You've got the guy in Minneapolis. You've got AOC. You've got Bernie Sanders, all trying to get to the top spot. But if you'll notice, there's one thing in common for all of them. They're the most radical left members of the Democrat Party.
Let's take a look at those numbers from the Wall Street Journal, and they are pretty astounding when you see it in print. 33% of voters say they approve of the Democratic Party. 64% do not. 43% approve of Republicans. 54% do not. There are a lot of fears among Republicans that you might lose control of the House in the next election because that often happens midway through a president's term. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think if we do our job and we start keeping our promises that we made, and we saw some of that with the big, beautiful bill and whatnot, but if we keep our promises, which is to make sure that we are transparent, that we're doing right by the citizens, if they see us backing up and codifying President Trump's agenda, I think that we're going to be able to keep the House and maybe expand it just a bit. I don't know that you expand it by very much because there's very few races that are really competitive in the congressional sense. But what I would suggest to you is Congress has got to codify what President Trump has done that the American people asked him to do when they gave him a mandate.
On that score, he signed this big deal, this tariffs deal with the European Union today. What do you think that is going to mean, for the average American who might be struggling out there?
Well, what it says to me is that since a significant portion of it deals with energy, that means that America is going to start producing more energy, as President Trump his administration has given a lot of new oil and gas exploration leases and development leases. And if that happens, then you'll see the prices of things come down. Already, that the prices have generally stabilized and in some areas have actually come down. But when those prices begin to come down, that's great. But also the trade that's going to happen with both Japan and EU, you're going to see the velocity of money pick up. And that's going to help the overall economy, and that will trickle down to everybody as well.
Yeah, because sometimes, I think we read about things like the big, beautiful bill. We read about this European Union trade deal, and we kind of shrug our shoulders and say, well, so what? How does that affect me? How does that help my life? You're saying that you think this is going to provide an economic boost that Americans are really going to feel.
Yeah, I think so, John. And the reason I think so is not just the movement, the speed of money moving around, but the fact that a significant portion does deal with energy. And energy drives the economy to a huge extent in the sense that when our energy costs are up, people don't feel free. They don't feel like they can travel. Costs go up on everything because everything is trucked or transported in that way. So when energy costs comes down, people feel freer because costs are coming down. And when you feel freer and you're able to spend more money and accomplish what you want to in that way, you feel like you're growing and flourishing. You can accomplish what you want to. that is beneficial to all Americans. And that's why I say this is a great deal with the EU.
Yeah, it's nice to see gas prices coming down. Less money in the tank means more money to spend on other things. Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs. Congressman, thank you.
Thanks, John.